does that mean? Am I gonna find Mr. Man? Is Mr. Man about to make himself known to me this year? Come on, Mr. Man. I just pressed record. That's crazy. It feels wild to be doing this again, but hello, how are y'all? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, that's. How are you guys? Good, I hope. I hope you're good. I'm good. I'm fabulous. I'm great. That also feels very insincere, even though it's not. Hey y'all, it's me. Okay. Hello guys, welcome back. What was that? Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome back. I am here. I am recording a video right now. Insane, wild, but I'm here. Take it with a grain of salt. This don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. I'm not telling myself that it means anything. I just today have felt so inspired to make this video. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I feel like it's going to be very long. I don't know if that means I'm just going to do one long ass video, or if I'm going to do some short little, here's a 20-minute segment, here's the next 20 minutes. I don't even know. I don't know. Regardless, as the year is closing, had a lot of reflections today on this year and what it has been, what it has meant for me, what it has been like, and just so much. A lot of what I've been experiencing, I have not wanted to be so explicit about it in a video format or publicly or anything like that. Not because any of the things that I feel like I'm going to talk about is necessarily bad or anything like that. I guess I got to a point where I just wanted these experiences. It's personal, basically. I wanted to keep these for myself, to my journal, and be able to reflect on this year in that way. But for whatever reason, my thoughts were thoughtin'. My thoughts were active today. I felt like, why not make a video? Kind of like a video diary. So this is going to be a diary, which the purpose more so will be for me to reflect on and look back on. But I guess I feel like there's no harm in also sharing certain pieces of what I'm thinking or what I was thinking today publicly. So this feels foreign. Some of the things that I feel like I'm going to talk about, juicy girl.
I cannot take myself seriously sometimes.
I have my handy dandy journal here. This is my 2022 journal that I have finished. I'm gonna read some things from my journal to you guys. So yeah, so this is gonna be kind of like a very, very high level, whatever I flip to or whatever specific things that I want to talk about, I'm gonna talk about them. I am nervous. I am so nervous. Okay, before I even get to that, I do want to talk about the things that immediately come to mind about this year that I feel like are important to mention, that were really important for me to experience this year. One has to do with this continuation of what I have been calling my spiritual journey. It's still spiritual, but it has been enmeshed with a self-love journey and self-love practices, and they're very intertwined now that they almost feel one and the same. When I'm mentioning a self-love or when I'm mentioning spirituality, I am also mentioning the other, and that has become huge for me this year, is developing practices that relate to this journey that I do consistently now, that I've proven to myself that I know how to care for myself, not just on the baseline, like finances and taking care of paying bills and stuff like that. Those kind of adult things I know how to do. I prioritize those. I know how to do that. But showing myself how I care for myself in other ways was not really a huge priority for me. And I'm just being honest. It was always about, let's just do the things to be self-sustaining. And this year has been, let's do the things that make you feel good, Candace. How about that? What makes you feel good in your body? I'm gonna open up with one of the practices that I do on Fridays, and I'm going to set the scene for you all. Spicy, not really. I have gotten in the habit on Fridays of taking a self-care, self-love bath every Friday, I am going to tell you all that encompasses at this stage, because I am still adding things to the experience. And I'm like, man, how was I not doing this before? This bath, it's not just a bath. It's not a bath with the purpose of bathing or getting clean. It's not like a shower, not that at all. I actually shower before the bath, immediately before the bath, then run the bath water and take my bath. So this bath is very intentionally for spiritual and self-love purposes. Keep that in mind. And there's a lot that goes into it every Friday. Starting off, before I even get to the bathing portion, I clean my bathroom before the bath. I just want the whole bathroom to be clean and feel like I am cleaning and having this experience in a clean bathroom. So that's some of every Friday practice now. 2, let's talk about what I put in the bath. I put a whole bunch of Epsom salt, but in addition to just regular plain Jane Epsom salt, I have gotten in the practice of creating my own bath salt experience. That sounds questionable.
There's products. I create my own bath products.
I think that's a better way of saying it. So in combination with the Epsom salt, there are a specific set of herbs that I use that I mix and grind together, mix very specific essential oils in the mix as well. And that is what I put in the bath. And all of these herbs have to do with self-love. There are roses, lavender, herbs that I never heard of before, lovage, lovage. I think it's like a bark, a dried lovage, whatever. I don't know. I looked up the meaning, was like, yeah, that needs to be in my mix. So I include that as well. Orange peel, a lot of things. I'm not gonna go through all the list, but those are a few of the things. So that gets in the bath. I also have an oil with those same herbs that I make, and I sprinkle some of that oil in the bath. I've now added a bubbling bubble bath experience to it that makes it feel like it feels so good to sit in a bubble bath. I also set candles around the bathtub, so there's no lights on. It's just candlelight, girl. It is, when I tell you it's a vibe, it's a mood every Friday. In addition to that, let's add more of the spirituality piece on it. Y'all know I love my crystals. I do select a few crystals that I feel drawn to, that feel like it makes sense. Place the crystals around the tub. I bring in my fresh flowers into the bathroom because why not? Why not? And then lastly, now this is where, if it wasn't woo-woo before, this is really where it gets spiritually woo-woo. Practice that I've developed this year is creating my own moon water. That is essentially water that I boil and verbally speak my intentions into those water, in that water. In that pot of water, I'm stirring it and saying like whatever the intentions are. Like I'm calling in more love, self-love, love because of this type of love. Calling in more abundance, financial abundance, abundance in any form, releasing the expectation of what abundance should, what I feel like it should look like, and being open to the idea of whatever abundance looks like, whatever the word is, whatever the thoughts are around the full moon. And then after setting those intentions into the word, it's a science, actually. Look it up. There's some scientific meaning around the words that you say towards water. I don't know. Look it up. So I do that, pour the water into a jar, really large mason jar, and set that water outside during the night of the full moon. The next day, bring it in the house, and then when I'm ready for my bath, I pour it in my bath. That, so far, is the majority of what I do. Oh, and while I'm in the bath, and sitting in the bath, I'm also playing some affirmations that I'm also saying out loud or internally, however I'm feeling that day, some self-love affirmations. And that experience, all of that every Friday, has been wondrous. It has been something I look forward to. So that is just an example of how my spirituality and self-love journey and practices have started to really blend in together. And it just feels nice. It just feels great. Another thing, completely unrelated to that, but something that I have to admit, I have to talk about for this year, because it has been amazing to have this addition to my life, or this experience in my life. One of my friends from Xavier days, I'm not gonna name names because I don't know. I don't want to put people's, I don't know. One of my friends from Xavier who I was cool with, never was like close with, but we hung out cool with. She's also from California, and we met at Xavier. We met in Louisiana. After we graduated, we kind of stayed connected. We hung out a couple of times. Nothing that I felt like this is a really close friend of mine, if I'm being honest. And I feel like I've told her that. So hopefully Hopefully this don't come off in a rude way. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Around this time last year in 2021, she reached out to me and asked if I would be open to having like monthly check-ins with her, like monthly calls or whatever with her. And at the time, girl, when she asked me, I was like, what? Me? You want to check in? You want to talk to me every month? Every month. Me. And let me tell you why I thought this. Let me tell you what my mindset was just a year ago. It was like my life did not feel interesting enough to have something to talk about on a monthly basis with someone. We're going to sit with that for a second. For whatever reason, I did not think my life was interesting enough to have anything to talk about within a span of a month. I felt like my day-to-day was so basic, mundane, uneventful, unexciting that I had nothing to contribute. That is what I thought a year ago. Despite feeling that, and despite feeling like, man, we're not really I don't feel like we're the closest of friends at this stage. It's so crazy that you're asking me to show up like this. But despite that feeling, I had no reason, nothing that I could justify in my mind to say no to. So I went with it. I was like, okay, let's try it out. Let me try to commit to seeing where these conversations take us. And my goodness, when I say these conversations that we have on a month-to-month basis have been one of the biggest highlights of my year, probably one of the biggest highlights of my year, one singular monthly conversation with the same person. I have no words to express how amazing and how it's just warm it has been making me feel. Like we just had a conversation, our December conversation a couple days ago, and we were on the phone for 2 hours. Two of those hours, 2 hours, 2 full hours. And there were no lulls in the conversation. There were just no drops. We didn't skip a beat. It was just conversation about everything, about being vulnerable, talking about family, talking about our personal growth, talking about things we've learned about ourselves, just talking about the things that I value so much at this stage of my life right now. And it really feels amazing to have someone to be able to share this side of me with without feeling like, okay, should I not mention this? Or let me think twice about this. Does this make sense for me to share? Or without even sounding crazy. Sometimes I told her a couple months ago about my moon water and moon ritual and bathing. And she was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Has it been working? Like she sounded very interested. And that was something in the moment I was like, I didn't grow up with people that did stuff like this. So girl, you know who you are. I've said this to you. I really, 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 really am so happy that you asked me to have these conversations with you monthly, to plan this and have it be a part of our yearly schedule. It has helped me in so many ways that I didn't even realize I needed help with. Even just being able to communicate and express myself and to not shy away from expressing certain aspects of myself. It has felt amazing. And I feel like it's only gonna grow. It's only gonna grow in how we continue to show up for each other. I don't know what you saw in me, girl. I don't know what you saw when you first asked me this. I really don't. I really, really don't. But I'm glad you synced it. I'm glad you synced it, because now I see it too. I see it too. Those are two main things that are huge in my year so far, or this year is practically over, that I don't think I'm going to talk about in my journal a lot, but I felt like they were for sure worth mentioning. Now the piece that I've been kind of stalling on. Let's read some journal entries. So let me start off by saying the spiritual folks that I follow and was following a year ago, when it turned from 2021 to 2022, there were a whole lot of messagings and a whole lot of videos about 2022 basically being the year of love. Because 222, 2 times 3 is 6, right? 6 in numerology, or 6 in whatever, is supposed to represent love and wholeness or something like that, mainly love. So me going into 2022, I was like, okay, girl, what kind of love am I getting on? What does that mean? Am I going to find Mr. Man? Is Mr. Man about to make himself known to me this year? Come on, Mr. Man. spoiler alert, Mr. Man hasn't made himself known to me. I don't know who Mr. Man is, but we're going to talk about that. And 2, even though the type of love I experienced this year was not the intimate partner, romantic type of relationship, the type of love I experienced for myself, the self-love, and even like I said with my friend, the love that I have for her, that was new. All of that is new to me. It's going to make a little bit more sense, the year of love, the number 6 or whatever, possibly later down the line if I remember to talk about it. Hopefully I do. If not, sorry girl.